สวัสดีครับ
Oh, we're here. Okay. Chan, let's start. So, good afternoon to everyone, to our participants and guests, and to all of our audience on the other side of the screen from different sides of the world. Before we properly open this year's Borderless Concert, I would like to introduce myself. Some of you know me. I am Nikki from the Philippines and is a currently continuing composition student in Korean Music Department. And my partner, Chan Umsoga. 아직, 아직.
Sorry about that, guys. My name is Chan. I'm a Kayatum performer, recently graduated from Seoul National University. We are your hosts for this year's Borderless Concert. The first performance that you've just watched is traditional music from the Philippines, performed by Nikki, my co-host. The Sinulog Abagu follows a rhythmic pattern mode from the southern Philippines. We heard the Ano Boy with some short moments of Sally Dumay in between the performance on the nose flute.
Well, we only heard Kulintang.
Oh,
Okay, maybe we will hear it later. Anyhow, unfortunately, due to the recent happening in our world, like all the projects, like all the projects and concerts that we've been doing together, we will deal with our concert, our Borderless Concert, through Zoom. Despite this, the only thing we wish for you guys on the other side of the screen is your safety and please stay healthy. And on the brighter side, Borderless Concert is still happening this year. Glad to see some familiar faces and new faces on the screen. Yay, Tintin. Okay, so shall we? Let's get started.
for the first part of our program, we are going to reconnect and share our stories. We have on our screen here previous performers and composers of past Borderless concerts. They are from Thailand, the Philippines, Taiwan, Austria, and England, and many other. We'll ask them to share some aspects of their musical experiences during this pandemic. Specifically, how did the pandemic affect you as a musician and what they enjoyed about previous Borderless concerts? First up, I asked Thomas, who was supposed to be here, but due to technical issues, he couldn't be here today. But thankfully, he sent me a message on my phone saying what he have learned and how he is doing. So let me read it for you guys. This is from Thomas. I am currently enrolled in my final year at the Royal Academy of Music, where I'm spending the majority of my time working toward projects which are spaced out across the year for a variety of ensembles. I'm spending my time between writing for these projects and teaching. I hope this is okay. Yeah, that was from Thomas.
So Thomas was one of our previous musician slash composer in the previous Borderless Concert around 2018, if I'm remembering it correct. Okay, anyhow, since we have some specific persons that we want to initiate in answering some questions. So again, I want to recall we have two answers that we asked them. First is, how did the pandemic affect you as a musician? And the second one is, what for the previous Borderless Concert musicians and composers, what did you enjoy about our previous concerts? I want to ask Tintin first. Yes, to answer both of the questions. So Tintin is a pianist from Princess Galliani Vadhana Academy. Janice visited us at twice, 2017 and 2018. Nice to see you again, Tintin.
I was there one time, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I met you in Thailand, so that's why it felt
Oh,
like.
yes, probably, yes.
Sorry. Once
Well,
only.
Yes, so it's nice seeing you again. The question was during the pandemic, right?
Yes.
I mostly stayed home and I taught piano to children through Zoom, actually, which has been quite challenging. It's very new to me, and it's very important to learn to adapt like everything else. And I've been having piano lessons through Zoom as well, and like teaching is very important to adapt, I think. Yep.
Regarding about our previous Borderless concert before, we would like you to share to our new faces this year for our future collaborations. What do you think you enjoyed in our previous Borderless concert?
It was very fun. I was there 1 week, and the schedule was super full, and I enjoyed the whole week. I performed this Korean piece with Sumin. She played the Hakum, I think, and it's quite new. I've never played Korean music before, and so Sumin helped me a lot, and I still carry that memories, what I learned. And we did an improvisation, a short improvisation session with different instruments, with Korean as well, and it really helped me. It really brought out new ways to listen in me, because now that I work with these instruments, they sound different, and they require, sometimes I do different things in improvisation, which is normal, I think. Yeah. Tan, she's in this Zoom meeting as well. She went with me. I think we were there together. Yeah.
One final follow-up question. Okay, yeah, for the both of you, I'll follow up with Crew on. During our Borderless concert last year, during your period, what do you think was those lessons that you've learned that you brought in your peers or in your group?
Sorry, can you ask that again?
Okay, so is there something, if there is something, if there's nothing, it's okay not to answer as well. If there is something that you learned, like, is there something that you learned during our Borderless concert that you were able to share it back to your peers, your group of friends, or your group of musicians that you apply there, that you learned from Borderless concert? If there is none, it's okay not to answer.
I might have learned it and then shared it subconsciously. I mean, it might just be inside. I can't express. I don't know what.
Understandable. It's a very human thing, and the art, subconscious learning. Okay, may I thank you for that insight, Tintin. May I ask Poe? Where is Poe? May I ask Poe? Poe. Okay, how about Lu Ye? Lu Ye, are you here, my friend? So we have two representatives from Taiwan, which now I'm realizing they're not quite here. Aha.
In that case, I could ask some of my classmates from Korea how did the Borderless concert or art space was to her as a Korean, as a participant from Seoul National University. Yejina, Kim Yejina, like, what did you like the most about our previous Borderless concerts? And
Yejina 언니.
I'm Yejugan.
Hi.
I feel Borderless Concert is a good platform for students. It is great for students' experience because with someone who various musical background have, and students can watch such the performance as a good experience.
감사합니다, 언니.
Thank you.
How about, may I ask Mr. Christian Spataru? Hello, sir.
Hi, I'm not so old, so you can you can tell me like a friend, you know.
Sorry.
Hi, it's
friend.
it's 10 o'clock now, and my voice may sound very, very, very basso profundo, you know, but but I'm still a kid, so you can be like on you with me. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Should I answer straight on your question,
Sure.
or do you want? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I hope not to be very long. I'm very glad to see you all here. That you are healthy and you are smiling. And this was a very, very hard period for all of us, of course, and it is still, and it may not get easier very soon. But we just can hope on the people's responsibilities. As Tintin, or I don't know, Thomas, I think, said, in this period, we could just think about ourselves, what we are doing, maybe practice a bit more what we are doing, and a bit more focused, and choose what is really important for us in these days. So as a musician, you cannot forget about music. So you would play, you would learn new things, you would read what you didn't have time to read in the time of I don't know, playing in concerts or studying every time in university. And yeah, it was a very interesting time to rethink what is actually important for us. We are running every day. We want to achieve so many things, but we don't really think what do we really want from all of this in the end, you know. And it was a very nice time for discoveries as well. Like my time actually being in Korea, it was just a full week, very intense week of discoveries. It was a discovery of new instruments, of how they sound, of I came there as a conductor, but I had a very, very lucky chance to hear my piece as well, because I'm studying here also composition, and I could learn about how you conduct this instrument, how they respond, and how people are thinking when they play these instruments. And it was a very new and incredibly beautiful, actually new universe of sounds. For me as a European, of course, this whole trip to Korea was something unforgettable, maybe for the whole life, because it was a different world, and first people so to say, received us so familiarly and so friendly, and they were very attentive to every detail and very hardworking. And I think this is a thing that I could bring with me and tell to the people here, how hardworking and how harmoniously hardworking are there. I mean, no stress, no, not this, sforzando and subito piano, but it's every harmonious, and people are doing so many things, and they achieve everything because they have this, I don't know, I think they have this inner peace kind of, and a mental peace. And when you have this, you learn so many things very fast, and you achieve a better results. That I could take with me. And yeah, and if I can do a small parenthesis, the food was amazing every day. in every detail, and every time was a different piece of art, so to say. And I enjoyed it, of course.
Yes, you answered very detailed, Christian. Thank you for that. And it is a fact, being a student here in SNU, I've learned a high standard of work ethic. Thank you, SNU, for that. And since we have a few minutes left for this segment, may I ask, let's play a moment of kind of game. May I ask at least one adjective word you could describe during your stay here in Borderless Concert? May I ask you first, Kruan? Taratawan, Kruan?
Yes.
How have you been? Can you describe Borderless Concert in one adjective?
One adjective. Oh my.
Yes.
What is an adjective?
I mean,
Sorry.
describe Borderless Concert. For example, maybe like kimchi, spicy, something like that.
Is wow, this is harder than I thought.
Oh.
Can you just forward to Tintin maybe?
I could go first.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tintin.
I will think about it
Yeah.
and then you can come
I
back to
could
me.
go first. To me, I would describe it as hectic, but at the same time rewarding. Yeah.
Okay. Tintin, you're next.
Can I go with full?
Okay,
Full,
sure.
yeah, full.
First word.
Sorry?
Yeah. Tell
It's
me.
full. Yes.
I see. That's good. Okay, guys. Since we're again, Korea is on a work ethic standard. We can only accommodate until there, but later on we're gonna have extra time for your insights. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing with us your stories. It's nice to hear that despite all the struggles that we've encountered, we're still smiling, and we're still encountering these problems. And I'm sure that we can strive together. And now we will be hearing a performance from a wonderful project. And Chan.
Before we move on to our next program, I kind of want to hear from someone who also is an artist, but at the same time, she's an educator as well. Professor Anotai, I would like to hear from your point of view.
Is the adjective words that you're looking for, or the situation during COVID? For which question?
Both will be
Both?
fine. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's demanding, Chan.
Okay. So maybe for two things. First, thank you for asking me to join, and it's really wonderful to have this, I would say, a family gathering in some way, with the faces that are we're meeting together, and of course meeting new friends, welcome a kind of new family members to Southeast Asia. And so for me, I think COVID is really a good wake up call for all of us, like not just only musicians but everyone's in the world, that has to kind of like realize the current challenge that we all share together. So, and I think a lot of musicians, especially young musicians, are taking this as a very positive things. And a lot of people, from what I've heard from friends, is that they rediscovering that themselves, and also a lot of them are forging a new path, that something that our people of my generation wouldn't be able to imagine of. So congratulations to you all, and big applause to you, that you can really find you can really write new history for the future of musicians, so we can die now, basically. So we die happily now. Okay. The second thing about the adjective about Korea, for the SNU project in SNU, I think possibly family is the word. In some way, as usual, when you meet with family, there's all these kind of, as you say, fun, hectic challenges and things that we have to work together to be able to complete the task together. And it's always the midnight barbecue. That's the first thing that I thought of. And it's something that I really miss not having it this time because of the COVID. So we should have our own barbecue at home, and then we can have one of the performance doing that that kind of thing. So maybe it's the ideas of family, and I think this is a gift, yeah, actually, to have this. So it's not just only kind of being able to make music to inspire people, but to also be able to connect and sustain all this kind of friendship over place and over time. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Anatai.
Thank you.
And now we will be hearing a performance from a wonderful project, which is 물속의 달. Literally, it means moon in the water, performed by 이유림 on the Kayatum, accompanied by string quartet. But unfortunately, she only has a video footage of her playing without the string quartet. Let's hear it from Yurim.
Hi, I'm Yurim, and I play Kayatum at Korean Music Department. And first of all, I thank you all of you guys for inviting me here at the Borderless Concert. It's a great honor to talk about the project I'm doing right now. Before I start, I'll briefly introduce about my instrument first. I brought it here. This is my instrument, Kayatum. It's a Korean traditional string instrument, and I think the biggest feature of this instrument is that we play it with our both hands bare, and while the right hand plucks the strings like this, the left hand you push the strings up and down and makes up the notes. And the piece I'm playing these days is The Moon in the Water, like Jung-chan said, and it's a song for Kayatum and string quartet composed by Rashirin. It's a song expressing the moonlight that changes along the river waves, and I personally think that it's a very beautiful and poetic piece. Let's have a quick look of my guide recording video. This piece was originally planned to perform at the National Gugak Center in October in our regular concert, but because of COVID-19, it was canceled. And I bet that other performers around the world is going through some similar situations too. So our next plan was to record it at a studio and also film it at our campus. But again, it was canceled because of COVID-19. Because of the coronavirus, it was impossible to rent places at our campus. So our last plan right now is to record the players performing, and mix the videos all together in one video. So currently we are in the process of recording the quartet first. So a few days ago, I've done my guide recording, the video you just saw, and yes, I've done my guide recording, so the quartet can record their parts without meeting all together. And just before we finished our first violin recording, yeah, that's all. And so if you like the piece, The Moon in the Water, if you want to see the full version, the video will be uploaded at our YouTube channel around October 23rd. Yeah, I hope you guys see a lot. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Yurim. Thank you.
Can we
again,
clap
everybody.
one last time for Yuri
Wow.
together on the screen? Now I'm saying.
And we're now moving to our next program, Art Space. Art Space is where we can enjoy the rich artistic capabilities of participants from Seoul National University and all around the world. Because of COVID-19, we are trying to host Art Space online this year. I will share a link where you can enjoy music concerts, literature, dance performances, theater, and art exhibitions. We have Taehun from College of Art to share a video of the opening ceremony of the art space. So let's hear it from Taehun.
Hello, I'm Tim Kim, a master's student in Department of Sculpture. I work on the opening artwork of ArtSpace SNU. We are happy to introduce our work to this concert, and our artwork also released on ArtSpace SNU YouTube channel. So we ask for your interest. Thank you.
였습니다. 나는 장자도 나비도 아니었습니다. 나는 훨훨 날아다녔지만 내 육신은 땅에 붙어 날아다니지 못했습니다. 그대가 나를 이기지 못했다면 내가 과연 웃고 내가 과연 그린 것인가. 생각하는 자가 존재한다는 것은 내가 그대를 이기지 못했다면 내가 생각하는 이상 내가 존재한다는 것은 의심할 수 없다. 내가 당신을 보고 내가 당신을 생각한다면 나는 존재하는가. 당신은 존재하지 않는가. 나는 존재하지만 당신은 존재하지 않는가. 당신은 존재하지만 나는 존재하지 않는가. 혹은 나와 당신 모두 존재하지 않거나 당신과 나 모두 존재하는가. 나인을 알지 못하리다. 갑자기 잠이 깨니 분명한 나였는데 내가 꿈의 나비가 되었었는지 나비가 꿈의 내가 되어 있는 건지 알 수가 없었습니다. 나는 나의 시간에 있다. 너는 너의 시간에 있다. 나의 시간과 너의 시간은 다르다. 우리는 같은 시간을 존재하는 동시에 절대적인 것은 없다. 절대적인 것은 존재한다. 절대적인 것은 존재하지 않는다. 절대적인 것은 존재한다. 절대적인 것만 있는 것은 아니다. 절대적이지 않은 것이 존재한다. 절대적인 것이 존재하지 않는 존재하지 않는다. 너는 꿈에서 물고기 곤이 되었다가 또 꿈에서 붕새가 되었는데 곤이 너와 붕의 꿈을 꾼 것인지 붕이 곤과 너의 꿈을 꾼 것인지 내가 곤과 붕의 꿈을 꾼 것인지 이를 생각하는 너는 꿈을 꾸는 것인지 깨어있는 것인지 너와 붕과 곤은 같으면서도 다르고 몇 마리를 날아오르면서도 날지 못하고 몇 천리 파도를 솟구치면서도 솟구치지 못하고 생각을 하면서도 생각을 하지 못하는
Okay, thank you for your watching.
감사합니다.
Thank you, Tim, for like a wonderful video and your work. And I love the music as well.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, we got your message, Miss Eva. Yes. So we're moving on to my part. Chan, do you want to ask me something?
That was me for today. I have another meeting afterwards, so I have to go. But I'll leave Nikki here with you guys. And Nikki here prepared a great speech about why we should meet and why we should collaborate through this online platform. And she have like a great speech. Let's hear it from Nikki, and nice to meet you guys all.
This is what happens on Zoom concert. People can just go anytime.
Sorry.
Nice working with you, Chan. Okay, he's gone. So for our third to the last part of the program, I was tasked to answer a question that's quite hard to answer. Thank you so much, Professor Kim Singgun. Shout out, Professor. I was tasked to answer and elaborate an idea. Professor Kim! I was tasked to answer and elaborate an idea as to why to continue collaborations like this, Borderless Concert and ASEAN Youth Ensemble in PGBIM, and why collaboration, for example, ASEAN with Korea Korea with East Asia, ASEAN to ASEAN. And I could only give you a very personal perspective, being a person in between cultures. That's why Professor chose me. Anyway, I would like to begin answering this question with a phrase that has been one of my guides throughout my artistic career so far. And it's a phrase from Winston Churchill, his philosopher. I'm gonna share it with you. That's specific phrase. I wonder if this is. Give me a moment. Technical difficulties. Okay, here we go. With that, this is the phrase from Winston Churchill. Without tradition, art is a flock of sheep without a shepherd. Without innovation, it is a corpse. With this in mind, I'm kind of scared to answer this question. With this in mind, being a Filipino who was once a traditional music student back in the University of the Philippines, I became a kulintang player. A kulintang player who was taught to really respect the traditional music, since it's not just the music but a culture on its own. And I followed to respect rules and traditions. And if I wanna do something else, I have to ask for permission. So there. But then, as I became a Filipino kulintang player that was given the opportunity to be here in South Korea to observe how Korean traditional music has been striving throughout time, specifically here at Seoul National University, it's here that no matter how a composition could be, there is a responsibility for us composers to keep writing music for traditional musicians, for them to continue playing, to perform in the future. So we have to pile stacks of new ideas, techniques, and new collaborations for Korean traditional music to stay here in this modern scene. So, and here in South Korea, the traditional music scene has been very accepting with change, with bravery and no hesitations. Here, composers are with the responsibility again to keep writing music to continue with the trend. And my best example with that would be, I'm not a K-pop fan, but BTS and Dachita. I wonder if some of you know BTS. Some of you probably don't know Techita, but as soon as you're able to watch the BTS singing a Techita, even while they broke a rule, they're able to educate a culture to not really the international audience, but their own audience as well here in South Korea. With that, with the thought of breaking rules, since Professor Vern, you're here, I would like to say sorry and apologize for I was breaking traditional rules from the very moment I became a composition major here in Korean Music Department. I have made kulintang instrument do things, new techniques that might hurt our indigenous groups when they see it. It might even hurt Professor Agamayo Butokan. But to my defense, behind it is that I was challenged to make Philippine music a little bit interesting for my Korean music peers. So there are moments where Kulintang is doing a technique that's never been done. And for a while, I have become successful with that. It came to a point that I have forgotten the fact that I was actually breaking rules for the time. But new techniques it became normal for me to break rules, Professor. And then I was reminded that what I was really breaking a lot of rules when I was reconnected with one of my juniors in Junior Tugma, Kathleen, a Tugma member in Princess Kalyani Badhani Institute, which is a wonderful program, ASEAN Youth Ensemble. I was given the opportunity to write a score for ASEAN traditional instruments. And I was I was so mesmerized and surprised how I've forgotten. Anyway, we had a moment where I asked her to play a certain technique for my piece. And then she answered me with the phrase, "Ate, baka magalit sa akin si Ma'am Aga kasi gagawin ko to." In English, it's like, Professor Aga might not like it if I did it this way. And then once again, I'm scared. Once again, confused. And reminded that, am I really forgetting Philippines, my roots as a kulintang player? And I was confused for a moment, and then I was reminded when I was having a class with Professor Kinsingen about images. Like, there's this old images and new images, and you as a composer, you just have to be brave and write a piece. Hello, Professor again, and write a piece. If you want to have a culture continues. That also reminded me of one philosophy from one of my favorite philosopher, Baumgarten. He's a German philosopher. Where he mentioned that the reason why people are confused is because there are these two specific images trying to merge with each other, and then that produces another thought. That's why people are confused. And then I think with that, I just reminded myself that we humans evolve. As we keep evolving, we are always confused. We follow a trend over here. We listen to what's popular over there. And it's because we want to belong. We always want to belong. And as my goal with that was what I was doing with Kulintang. It was trying to belong with Gugat in a different way. So, and again, with this, going back, I ended up talking a lot. Going back with this specific phrase, without tradition, art is a flock of sheep without a shepherd, without innovation, it is a corpse. I am taking the responsibility to break rules and for the evolution of Philippine music, and at the same time connecting with Borderless Concert. Borderless Concert continues to expand more, like new pictures, new countries together, trying to connect with each other to produce more new sounds. And that is why I would like to introduce the University of the Philippines College of Music, the Dean of College of Music, University of the Philippines, as our future partner for the Borderless Concert for new possibilities. Welcome, Dean Byrne. It's nice to see you again. Professor, you're there.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Professor, very loud.
Okay. Congratulations, Nikki, and thank you for inviting me. First of all, your concern about innovation, you're doing very fine. Of course, in the College of Music in the University of the Philippines, we encourage innovation, but not before you fully understand the culture where you're borrowing from. That's as a sign of respect. So we begin with knowing the culture, and then we expand, we build on that. So again, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all of you, wherever you are in the world at this moment. Again, I'm Professor Vern de la Peña from the University of the Philippines College of Music, where I'm currently the Dean. And I'm so glad to be part of this forum, and that SNU has this initiative to continue the connections, this dialogue, the family, as Dr. Anatay said, even in spite of the pandemic. As you know, I was asked to say something about how our school is coping with the pandemic. And as you know, our country has been hit very badly by COVID. And in fact, we are now on our 6th month of lockdown in Manila. It is that bad. Because of this, the entire educational system of the country had to shift to remote platform. This, of course, was a big challenge to us in so many levels. First, we, the faculty, had to redesign our courses very quickly in just a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. to the remote format, which is not a very easy thing to do for certain types of courses. At the College of Music, what we did was we convened right away an academic contingency plan ad hoc committee, which was comprised mostly of junior faculty. Why junior faculty? Because they are the ones who are more well-versed with the new technology and with the apps for online teaching. We tasked them to assist the entire faculty in preparing for the online mode, to switch to the online mode. And they, until today, they remain on standby for anybody who will need their assistance in their classes. Second, internet connectivity in the country is very poor. For this reason, we designed our courses to be taught not just synchronously, that means not just live or in real time, but we encourage the faculty to design asynchronous modules to allow their students to access the lessons at the best time or when their internet signal is good. The signal is so bad that I hear stories from our faculty of how some students would have to climb up the rooftop just to find a good signals to participate in the online classes. All teachers were required to complete the course packets before the semester began, and we had to send all of these to all the students in all parts of the country, of course, at the expense or of the university and not of the students. Aside from poor internet connection, excuse me, many of our students in the university cannot afford the gadgets needed for online classes. Many of them do not have their own laptops or PCs, or else need to share this with other members of the family. Because of this, the university raised funds to supply the needy students with electronic equipment as well as the internet connection cost. And I'm very glad that a lot of donors, many of them, the alumni, have responded. At the College of Music, of course, remote learning brings special challenges, particularly for the performance classes. Our teachers and students have to deal with latency. I'm sure you have dealt with that in your online teaching, online lessons as well. Latency problems and, of course, sound quality, which is very important for us musicians. For example, it can be quite difficult for an instructor to distinguish between poor playing or just bad internet connection. And then the varying conditions in the home of students also can be problematic. Imagine asking a student to sing an aria in a crowded neighborhood where you can hear the dogs barking and the vehicles honking around you. Not to mention the dance majors who have to move and dance in a small apartment. Most problematic, however, are the ensemble courses, chorus, orchestra, band, chamber music. These are all still impossible at this moment to do with Zoom and Google Meets and all of that. But we have to accept the reality of the situation and just adjust our expectations. We apply creative solutions whenever possible, like pre-recorded or virtual performances, for which there, of course, are now a number of popular apps available. We expect, for instance, that our recitals and examinations by the end of this sem will all go online as well and pre-recorded. The challenges that our traditional music students, I was asked to talk about that too. What are the special challenges for our traditional music majors? Well, of course, the challenges are no different from the other music majors. But in addition to poor internet connection and availability of gadgets for online courses, many of our Asian music majors do not own their instruments, do not own their own instruments. And this is understandable because it's not like you can just walk in to the mall into a music store and buy an erhu or buy a koto or even a kulintang. for minor classes like gong ensembles, what we did was we asked the students to find objects that can somehow approximate the sound of gong. So pot lids, fans, and so on, bottles. Of course, we had to do this without disrespecting, again, that's the word, the tradition where the music culture comes from. And so if we see the communities in the traditional communities doing this, using pots and pans and bottles as well, and we think it's okay for us to do that as well in our classes. For other instruments like koto and to find instruments that can be loaned or rented or bought at very reasonable prices by the freshmen from the senior batches. Because travel is still restricted, we had to arrange this to be delivered to the homes of the students concerned via courier service, again at the expense of the college. Of course, whatever the major is, music students learn not just from the courses, the academic courses they're enrolled in, but also a lot from the extracurricular activities such as performances, concerts, travels, tours. That is the aspect of life in the College of Music that probably it's very hard to replicate or impossible to replicate in remote learning. Not to mention, of course, the emotional bond that our students and teachers all greatly miss because of isolation. All of this contribute, of course, to shaping our music students. The overall situation that the pandemic has caused seems daunting and almost impossible to surmount, so much so that there are sectors in the university calling for an academic freeze, which means to suspend the school year altogether. Many are saying that online education is anti-poor because it favors only those who can afford the resources required. However, the university's mandate is to serve and to teach. So UP is finding all the means to assist our students with our mantra, no student left behind. We feel that suspending the classes at this point would do more harm than good in the end. Even more so for music majors, for music students who, as you know, must continue honing their craft without gaps. We continue the semester with emphasis on student-centered learning, maintaining excellence, yet balancing this with flexibility, and most of all, compassion and understanding, because after all of us are being affected by the same pandemic. In the College of Music also, we see a silver lining behind the clouds. It made us to confront the need to learn and acquire this new technology and prepare for the inevitable role in the future, in the inevitable role of these technologies in the future of education and music instruction. This pandemic also has allowed us, through remote learning, to widen our horizons. We can now accept students and engage the services of teachers from any part of the world. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Professor Vern, for giving us what's the image of what's happening in the Philippines in terms of music education. So that was supposed to be the last part of the program. But before we end the program, I would like to share next program that's going to be happen a little later, that we hope we're still inviting you that you could watch through YouTube link. Since it's a graduation of one of our seniors here in Bugak Korean Music Department, I will be sharing with you. So this is, we would like to invite you to this concert that's happening a little later. merging in between our Borderless Concert and this graduation. It will be featuring Korean traditional daegum player. So we hope you could still continue supporting the Korean traditional music art through this. And with that, before I end, I would like to invite Professor Anutai for the closing remarks of the Borderless Concert. Professor Anutai, your mic is... Thank you. Ooh, Professor, we still cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, sure. Okay, good. Oh, I think we haven't heard from some of them, like maybe that they should say some words.
Oh, yes.
I know Book hasn't said anything yet. Kayatum just kind of join in, and yeah, many different friends that we haven't met before. Even some friends in Thailand that I haven't met either. So would you like to say some words?
Oh, yes, Professor.
Just before we kind of like gather together?
That's very good, Professor. Okay, anyone who wants to volunteer first, do you want to say something for our Borderless Concert? Can I volunteer? Chitep. Chitep? Kutipan Chitep, no? How about Book?
Okay, sure.
Sure.
Yes. From I think I participated like on 2018 maybe. That time is my experience in aspects quite very nice. Actually, honestly, to say is in Korea they have a good food. Actually, I love the food there, and the environment is quite different from Thailand. So it's like my new experience to sightseeing around. And on the aspect of like making music, is like in the festival the schedule is very tight and tension because it's like I can remember I have one day that I'm pray for concert. Like first concert is like ensemble, and next I go to somewhere outdoor and play like ensemble again, and next I go back to the hall, and after that I need to play like with a duo or something like that. It's quite very time, but it's very great fun for me, and it's quite made me broaden my experience and my aspect on making music in one day. It's like many things can happen. It's just a great time there, and I think it is a great place to attend, and I'm hope to join again someday if it's possible. Something like that. Yes.
Thank you. How about Ketsin?
Hi everyone. I was there as SNU in 2018, I think, with Book, and yeah, I was there to play some music, and I also had an opportunities to work with very wonderful musicians from all over the world. Yeah, I got to learn so much about Korean composers, and yeah, I've experienced a lot of like contemporary music, which I really liked. Yeah, I enjoyed my time a lot there. I think the term borderless has been very important in the past few months, especially, I mean, it has been, and it has been like a movement to include it, all kind of music. But for the past few months to the COVID, it has become like gradually very important. Yeah, and it's the same here where I live. I'm now studying in Iceland, and people adopt this kind of idea a lot of sharing, integrating, and yeah, but at the same time, we can still see like totally the opposite. In specific regions, but you can see that there are also a lot of exclusion going on in the world. Yeah, so I think this is like turning points in history, in music history or something like that, because it invites us to either include or exclude in any way. Yeah, so it's a fun time to be alive. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So interesting how the commonalities of our experiences during Borderless Concert. How about Klueon? Can I invite you to speak something?
Yes, of course. I've been to SNU for the art space event, to the art space concert with Tintin a few years ago, and I had a chance to like test Korean food and Korean music at the same time, which is a very nice experience. And I think it is very important to us musicians and composers, of course, to keep trying on new things, to learn every new things. Every chance I could get this. I think when we have the current situation with the pandemic, it kind of erases our borderless and create a border at the same time, because some of us cannot get to the technology or to reach out to people as much as we could, but in the same time we also can connect to the people who live so far away from us, and we get a chance to digest what we have, because we don't have to run around in the city anymore. We don't have to achieve like our goals that we try to push ourselves on. And yeah, when I see the concert is like on everything, I feel like yeah, we can still keep this is a part of our life now. So it's kind of new normal thing, and it is very fascinating that I can get a chance to live in the moment and to see you guys working on the concert.
Love to.
Thank you. I think your mic is off, Nikki.
Oh, hello, Alberta. I'm sorry. Anyone who we could ask for one last call who would like to share? I haven't heard from our Taiwan friends. Hello, Jelly. Are you there? Okay. I think with that, Professor Anitai, may I call you back for our closing remarks?
Sure. Okay, so thank you. Okay, thanks you all. Actually, thank you, Professor Seung Kim, for your ingenious idea of calling this a borderless concert a few years ago, and somehow this become a reality in some way. That not that before we always in the same space in SNU and create this kind of borderless concert, but now we really are in completely different places, and really communicating without borders, crossing borders of time and space and everything. So thank you for initiating this, and thank you, Nikki. It's really wonderful job to create and gather all the people together, and looking forward that in the near future, this can also develop onto something of a kind of music making platform as well, that this can be a real borderless music making concert. And so congratulations, and then thank you, Professor Van, thank you all my kind of former students as well, who's now my colleagues now. I would love to call them my colleagues, new colleagues now. So thank you for joining us. So we leave a lot of our hope for the borderless world into your hands, and thank you for creating this wonderful gathering, and thank you for including us to be a part of your community and family. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Anitai. Can we give ourselves one last round of applause? Thank you so much, everyone. Stay healthy.
감사합니다, Professor. 감사합니다, Nikki. And thank you. We hope we'll see each other again very soon and healthy.
Bye. Stay safe.
Stay safe.